This is a help for Program 2a. In Program 2, which I gave you the key to, we have a program that works perfectly. It takes inputs from the keyboard, produces output to the screen. And your job in 2a was to replace the input from the keyboard with input from a file, and also to replace output to the screen with output to a file. We did some sandbox work in class where we established what you had to do if you wanted to use files instead of standard input CIN or standard output Cout. The first thing we said was you must include the library for fstream, and this is already in your program. The next thing we have to do is for step 1, notice that we are reading inputs from the keyboard. So we must change this so that we're reading inputs not from the keyboard but from a file. What does that mean to have inputs in a file? Over here it simply means that you may have a file and you were told the name of the file. The name of the file was vacation.dat, and it's just a file that you put data in. For example, the name of the family is Edward Jones, and we're going from Charlotte to Tallahassee. Couple things to notice: the names of the cities don't have spaces, but the name of the family does have spaces, so you got to be careful about that. All right. And I think the next thing that you require is miles from home to destination. Let's say that's 600 miles, and miles from destination back, 660. The travel time from home to destination, say 9.5 hours, and to get back it took 11.25 hours. Gas mileage was 25, and the price per gallon was $3.25. So these inputs that you would have ordinarily typed in as the program runs, you will store these inputs in a file. And we're going to call this, and this is how you have to create the file. Is it clear that you must put data in this file? So as long as you do that, you can when you get finished with this transformation, you'll be able to run your program. All right? So let's go down the list. So how do we create a stream? Well, we have to declare two streams, one for input and one for output. I'm going to type it in over here because it's just I can't use a pencil. So we're going to say, so over here we are going to say I need an input stream. Input file stream, I give it a name. I typically use the word in followed by capital F and out followed by capital F to indicate my input stream names and output stream names. And since I know what the name of the file is, I will say it's vacation.dat. That's the name of the file. And having done this, we have established the stream. Moreover, we have also connected the stream to the file. So from this point on, we're ready to read things from the file. How do you read something from the file? Instead of reading it from CN, we're going to read it from where? The input file stream. What's the name you're going to use for that? If you call it NF, it means what? Every time you see CN, replace it by the stream that you're really using, NF. Are we clear on that? So that's the first part. And here's what I would do. I would make this one change. Don't worry about the output yet. Make this one change. Make sure you're able to read data from the file. and output it to the screen. If so, then it's a simple matter later on, once you know things are working, to just replace cout with the name of your output stream. What's a good name for your output stream? It's an output file stream, OF stream. What's a good name? Again, if you use my style, it's just easier to say out file, in file. And we know that should be vacation.rpt. All right. Notice that in my little sandbox over here, I'm not really using the files yet. So don't let that bother you. I'm not really using the files yet because we have another problem that has to be solved. And we're going to solve that momentarily. So let's recap. If you're using streams, you must include fstream. Second, before you start using the streams, you must establish them. You create them by declaring them. All right. Third, period. And now but before we do this, let's run this little program and see what happens. Let's run it. All right. I want to run this. And it's going to say enter name, and I'm going to type in Ed, and I'm getting Ed. That's okay, right? Let's do this. I'm going to type in Edward Jones. For our program, what were the changes between, I'm messing up here. For the new version of the program, the family name is no longer one word. It can be multiple words. It can be like Ed Jones. So that the input for the family name can be multiple words that contain white spaces. What do we learn about reading things with white space? We learn that if we must read a string that has white spaces, you cannot say greater. Instead, you must use getLine. So let's go back in here and change this so that I'm not reading the name using greater because it only picks up one word. We just saw that, right? We just saw, this is messy. We just saw when we type in Ed Jones, it only reads Ed. So we must fix that so we're reading the whole name. So let's do that in our sandbox over here. And we're going to do what? We're not going to say CN. We're going to say getLine, read from CN, that's a stream, and read it into your variable called name. And now we can see that this getLine says get data from a file, from a stream. The stream that we want to use is CN, and I want to read name. Notice that once we are convinced that we can read multiple words using getLine, you can also use multiple words from a file stream. So we're just testing this out using CN. Okay. And now the name is going to be Edward and Mrs. Jones. And what we read is the whole thing, which is what we need to do here. Is that crystal clear? Many of you may have tried to do this program and you tried to read just one word from the name. And once you do that, it messes up all the other reads. So nothing else was read properly because you did not read the name. So what's the point? When we get back down here, we're going to replace reading the name this way with reading getLine. So let's go and do it here. So this time we have a stream called vacation.dat. We have used the keyboard to test our ability to read the family name. We know that it works now, so we can replace CN by NF. So that this time we're reading things from the input file. So let's compile it and try it again. And what just happened? Woohoo! What just happened? What's in family.dat? It's vacation.dat. Vacation.dat. What's in vacation.dat? Oh, the name Edward Jones. So it kind of looks like we read the name from the file okay. Let's change this to make sure we didn't have a fluke here. Oh, don't ever do that. Pay no attention to this. Pay no attention to this. Wizard of Oz. Don't look behind the curtain. Don't look behind the curtain. So let's run this again. And we're picking up Edward and Mrs. Jones. How many of y'all noticed something? What is this? This part here is where we're asking for the input. If I'm reading the input from the file, do I need to ask for it? No. So you see over here that once we start using our file, all the prompts that we had, we don't need them anymore. We just read. All right? CN is going to be replaced by NF. NF, NF, NF. You do not need to prompt, so you can delete these lines altogether. All right? Now, when we're all done, all we've got to do when we're all done, we can say what? Whatever we used to write to the screen, we can also now send to the output file just by changing cout to that. And we're going to do that and see what happens. Okay, I did not read. I should have taken the prompt out. But let's see what's in this file called report. What's in this file is what we output. So whatever came to the screen, the same thing is going here. All right? So I think we've established that the few changes you need to make are these changes here. Okay? So move ahead and go ahead and knock this out.